Welcome back to our F1 2020 Ferrari Return to Glory career mode. Today it's, I guess, the big one, the Monaco Grand Prix. Obviously the most famous race on the F1 kinda. Obviously a very, very difficult one as well. And for us, depending on how our pace is, it could be particularly difficult if we're in amongst a midfield. It could be difficult for us to make much progress, but we'll have to wait and see just where the car is. We are making improvements to the chassis, which obviously is the most important part, I guess, of the car around Monaco. So we'll be hoping that that can carry us to a decent position here. We are certainly catching up to the top two in terms of our chassis, and we do seem to have got ourselves a bit of a lead over the other midfielders. So we've got some more upgrades coming on the car then for, I think, just for the Canadian Grand Prix or just after. I'm not sure, I missed that one there. We've also got a bit more then to, well, not quite actually, to upgrade our aero as well. Got some barge board upgrades then to come as well. That's for the aero though, but it should still help us out a bit then.
Okay.
As yeah, we are.
New parts come through from the
Yeah, we got those on the car, so that's
we'll
good.
have them with us for
And
the
I
next
think
Grand
we'll.
Prix.
We've got another obviously week of upgrade points to now that we can put on the car. So I'm not sure if we're going to do that now, but I think we are. Yeah. So obviously we are just still upgrading aero and chassis. Not long now actually, because it's a 16 race season, so it's not long until we potentially start adding engine upgrades. But it really depends, because I may sort of extend that engine upgrade ban depending on how far we've dropped, because I feel like at the moment we're still in a good position, and I'd like it if we were more, if it was as realistic as possible. So I'd quite like it if we can get it to a point where we're probably like the worst in terms of performance. Maybe I'll start doing durability upgrades at the halfway point, but then maybe we won't do any performance upgrades for the engine all season. Maybe that will be how we do it, because like it's all been like, it's all like sort of experimentation really. Obviously I started this right when the performance update dropped, so yeah, this has all been experimentation, but I want to try and make it as realistic as I can to Ferrari's actual performance. So that's what we'll try and do. But we now move on then to start the weekend, this Monaco Grand Prix weekend. We're here then in practice, where I have to say I wasn't feeling as comfortable with the car as I thought I might. I usually quite enjoy this track, but the car just wasn't really working around here, I didn't think. Not saying as well as I thought, but it may have just been a case of needing a few laps to get used to it. But yeah, I was certainly expecting the car to feel really nice around here, because I thought, oh, we've got some nice aero upgrades, got some chassis upgrades on as well, and that would help things out. But I guess I was left a little bit disappointed, I thought, after practice. But with that in mind, I did end up putting some of the second parts back on the car. I think I started using them in Spain. I was thinking I may be able to get away with using some of my first parts here, but yeah, when I sort of like had a feel for the car, like, I thought we would probably have to put some more of these newer parts in just to get a bit more pace here. I did leave some of the original ones on though, my MGUK and my energy store, so we're not going to get as much of a benefit from ERS, and I think we're going to say, notice it during the race that we may well struggle a bit more, but we should hopefully have some decent performance from the engine now. As I actually did 2 runs in Q1 because I wasn't sure if my first run was going to be good enough to get through, but we did then on the second run in 7th position. And Charles Leclerc then, in his home race, he is top in Q1. Could he be a contender for pole position today? We'll have to wait and see then, as we've got Lando Norris then, who was slowest there. That was a big surprise. I guess he just could not get a quick lap in, or a clean lap in maybe. As we go on then into Q2, and well, I really had to use medium tyres here, because well, I used up 2 sets of softs in Q1, but then I blew it anyway because I hit the wall at the Lowe's hairpin, because well, Verstappen, as you saw there, was kind of blocking me as well. So it was just then one run on soft tyres then at the end of Q2, and we'll hope that this does enough for us then to get through to the top 10 shootout. We came to the line then, it's well, not quite a 10.7, a bit faster than that we had to beat, and we actually did it. We didn't just beat it, we went second place then, ahead of Charles then in that session. Hamilton fastest, so could it be Mercedes versus Ferrari for pole position here? We'll have to wait and see, but we certainly seem to have some decent pace at this stage, so we'll have to wait and see then just what happens here as we head now then into Q3, and we'll see just what his car's got then. Have Mercedes found something extra, have Red Bull found something extra. Well, our initial lap time is only good enough for 4th, and we now start our final run then. We've dropped down to 7th place and Charles is in 5th, and it's looking quite topsy-turvy actually because Verstappen's down in 8th as well, so it's looking like a very topsy-turvy Q3 at the moment. We are on an improvement and we're a couple of tenths up then going through the final sector, so we'll see just where this is going to put us then. We were still slower than Ricciardo there, I noticed, but hopefully with a good final sector here then we can go above him. It looks like we may, I don't think we're going to quite get into the 9s here. It's going to be a low 1 minute 10 to the line. We are 6th and on the grid, and not going to lie, that was actually a little disappointing after how much well we did in Q2 there. Only just behind Charles Leclerc there in 5th, so he's in not too bad a position for his home race, but that's actually one of his weaker qualifying because he has been qualifying 4th a few times. Big story there though, Albon splitting the two Mercedes there. It's usually been Verstappen who's looked strong. Also Carlos Sainz up there in 4th for McLaren, and Verstappen down there in, I think it was 8th place there in the Red Bull. So yeah, some big surprises there in qualifying. We've had a solid team result there, but yeah, I think maybe we would have been hoping for a little bit more there given the pace that the car looked like it had earlier on in qualifying. But nonetheless then, anything I guess could happen in the race. Monaco tends to be quite a crazy one. It is looking like it'll be a dry race though from what we saw, and yet there is a strategy, so it's looking like it's going to be a dry race. So we'll have to see what we can do then. We'll have to see if overtaking is at all possible, what kind of strategy the team has got for us, and I guess we shall now head then into the Monaco Grand Prix.
Nelson Piquet once said that driving the Circuit de Monaco was like riding a bicycle around your living room, and it's not hard to see what he means by that. There's no more prestigious a Grand Prix victory than Monaco, but also none so challenging. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today, though, ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1 mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today for the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you got your own race to run, I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, just edging out Alexander Albon, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Sainz, Charles Leclerc, the scientist, Perez, Verstappen, Stroll, and Esteban Ocon, Kvyat, Gasly, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Magnussen, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Daniel Ricciardo, and George Russell. Latifi and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
It's looking like a fairly standard one-stop strategy then, starting on obviously a softs that we used in Q2, going over to the medium tyres then on lap 11 and taking those to the end. The only other strategy option there which was slower was the hard tyres, so I guess the team are well hopeful that the mediums can go the distance from there, because that is quite a long way. Only just over a quarter of the way through a race then is when we're going to be pitting. We're also going to underfuel the car quite well, underfuel it, well, take some fuel out, I guess. We're not underfueling it, I guess, but I think I may well have actually underfueled it if I'd had another chance here, because obviously, there's always a chance for safety cars and stuff, so I don't think you really need to have that much fuel in the car here, because you tend to save quite a bit over the course of a race distance here then. But we line up now then on the grid, and the lights are coming on now. Away we go. I think we were actually a bit slow there reacting to the lights, but we've had a better launch than Charles there. He's actually managed to defend that position quite well there, and again on the exit turn 1 he was not giving us any room at all there to get through. He was not going to give us an inch there to try and overtake him here then on home soil. And well, I guess he learnt from us last week then, because we left the door wide open for him, and he did not give us the chance then to return the favour today then into Lowe's hairpin. There's no chance of really overtaking here then. It's very single file through here. As I guess some yellow flags at the back, but I think that just always happens round here then, as the back of the field always bunch up. Slightly a little bit out of shape there out of poor TA, so looks like Charles actually may have a good run here then down towards the Nouvelle chicane. Can he overtake the McLaren here? Not quite. Doesn't look like he was quite close enough to be able to make a move there, and the McLaren driver holds on. But I think we really need to get that car out of the way then, because already the front three are pulling away, and it looks like we're going to have more pace here then. As we see a replay at the start then, and I think if I just been a little bit quicker reacting to the lights there, I may well have had a chance, but nonetheless then Charles did a very good job there of covering the line. He made sure that there was no gap that we could go through there, and he managed to hold his position, as Sainz really gave Bottas a good run there for third place through turn 1 and then up towards Massenet, but couldn't quite do it there. On board with Albon, and we see up in front of us pretty much the perfect start there from Lewis Hamilton to maintain his lead then through the first corner, and that set him up nicely then for the rest of the race there really. As we skip to lap 4, and Leclerc there line at the rear tires a bit out of the Nouvelle chicane, and that has Perth brought onto the back of him then. Sainz is starting to pull out a bit of a gap then, and we are, well, I guess for the second race in a row really, getting a bit held up here by our teammate. So want to pass him if we can here. Then we're going to have DRS. We're right on him out the far in the corner. He doesn't have DRS, so we've got a good run here towards turn 1. We may well get him on the brakes. I think again it was a case of if it wasn't our teammate, we may well be thinking about taking a bit of a risk here with an overtake. But as it is our teammate, and it is our teammate's home race, you know, it would not be the best idea for us to be going for some kind of crazy lunge here. But once again then, coming through the tunnel, we've got a decent run here towards Nouvelle chicane, but just not quite close enough to go for a lunge on the brakes there, and we stay then for the time being in 6th position. But certainly looks like we've got pace over Leclerc, and it looks like Leclerc has pace over Sainz as well, and in fact the McLaren does now pit, so that's one car out of the way. But yeah, as I say though, it looks like we are the fastest out of these three, but well, whilst we can't get through, that is also allowing Perez just to stay with us as well then. The team do bring us in first then for our pit stop, so maybe we'll get an undercut here. But of course the issue here is that most people, I think in fact everyone outside the top 10 is running longer into the race. They're all on mediums or hards, so because we were sort of in a bit of a train there, we didn't really get the gap we needed to this group, and we emerged then behind all these cars that are going to be going for a while on the medium tyres. Sainz has jumped us quite comfortably there with an undercut, but now he's going to lose that undercut advantage soon enough, because he's now just reached the back of that train of medium tyre runners, and we'll probably cruise up to him quite quickly here then. It's just now a case of how long Leclerc stays out then. In fact, it's only one more lap, so he has not got the benefit there, and he's lost out to the undercut. The undercut is still powerful whilst we haven't caught this train, but the second we catch up to this train, we lose the undercut. It's kind of confusing. I'm probably making it sound confusing, but yeah, now we're going to start losing time because we're right on the back of a very long train of cars, which includes the 2 Williams. So however quick we're going, we're only going to be limited to however quick, you know, a group led by Romain Grosjean, Williams drivers, whoever are going. So this is when we're going to start losing time now then to the higher up medium tyre runners. So yeah, I saw even like Sergio Perez I was trying to pass us, so we really need to get a move on here then if we can. We need to try and get through this train if we can, because if not, we're just going to keep on losing time, and we will potentially lose ground to those who are in at like 11th or 12th place. We go for the move then finally on science into Mirabeau. Looks like we've just about done enough there, and that is a place gain. There's yellow flags behind us, so I don't know if there's a little bit of contact behind. It doesn't seem like there's anything on us, so that's good. Norris then losing the back end out of Poitiers, so that's going to give us a good run now then through the tunnel and towards the Nouvelle chicane. We're in Rich, we're in overtake, we're just going to go for it then for a 4th race in a row, and incredibly this time at Monaco, Norris does not turn in on us and there is no contact. So yeah, that's the 4th race in a row then that we've gone side by side, but this time of all these tracks we managed to do it cleanly then. And Sainz there actually brushed the wall after losing the place to us, so that is why, well, that's what that yellow flag was for, and there's a bit of front wing damage then for the McLaren driver as we had a bit of lockup there. Not sure if there's actually contact there, but didn't really look like it. He certainly had a bit of contact with the wall there, and then yeah, that is how you go side by side at Monaco then. So that was nice driving there from Norris as well to avoid any contact. And now we're finally starting to make moves now then. We're on the back of Latifi, so we should hopefully get in out of the way quite quickly, but we just weren't quite close enough there into the Nouvelle chicane to get it done on the brakes, so we're going to have to follow him for a bit longer. And of course all this time we're following, we're just losing time because we're really just driving at Williams pace. But rounding outside of Massenet on the inside for Casino Square, we finally get the move done then. So we took a bit of a risk there, but we had to do it really just so that we didn't lose any more time, because you know, sort of every second that we're following one of these cars is, you know, time that we're losing. So the quicker we can get them out of the way, the better wherever we pass, as long as we do it cleanly then. And towards Rascasse now then, we're up the inside, and yeah, we replicate, I guess, sort of the obviously the move that, you know, Bianchi was quite well remembered for doing there. And then towards turn 1, we're now on the switching of Grosjean then up the inside. That one was a bit dubious there. We got a warning for track limits, but they didn't tell us to give the place back, so we're just going to go with it. And we're up now then to 10th place. We got a nice bit of clear air in front of us, that is good. So now we can push and hopefully not lose any ground to those cars that were, well, that are further up the road, but also on this alternate strategy. As we get, well, it's a bit of a, yeah, as I say, dubious overtake there. And all those cars now then are finally starting to pit, and we have thankfully managed to stay ahead of them. It looks like there's still a few more to pit, but as you can see though, Ocon is coming out of the pits and he's going to have jumped a lot of cars here then. We saw that Leclerc actually got undercut by Perez, Verstappen, us, so he already lost out quite a bit, but now even Fiat then is going to be ahead of him, it looks like here. So yeah, this is a disaster really for Leclerc, and for a lot of those cars actually as well, because yeah, those cars on the alternate strategy then, they made it work while everyone else was stuck in that queue. We managed to get through it all and salvage a 4th place here then, but Magnussen then, he went hard to medium and he's also made it work then, by looks of things, to come out in the points. So yeah, I believe Leclerc is now actually 11th with no one left to pit, so that has worked out terribly for him, just staying up 1 lap longer than us and not managing to get any overtakes done. But he is actually going to recover to the points now then, because Verstappen, for the 2nd time this season, is out of the race. So yeah, it's turned into a bit of a nightmare season then for Verstappen, and that is, we see him there then, out of the race there, parked up at the final corner, so it's looking like another car issue for him there. And it took us a while to catch back up to the field, because we had lost quite a bit of time then, because we did still lose quite a bit of time when we were making our way through all those back markers. But we did finally catch back up then during the safety car. But I think the top 3 are just going to be too fast for us here to really challenge them too much. It's just going to be a case of managing our tyres, keeping it out of the wall, and yeah, just making sure there's no chance for anyone behind us to make a move. I guess it does help us a bit now then that we've got sort of 2 buffers really in Ocon and Fiat. They shouldn't be really that much faster than us, as long as we can keep on looking after our tyres. But we are actually going to get a 2nd safety car now then, because Antonio Giovinazzi is also now out of the race then, so that's going to bunch everyone up once again then after just a few laps. There's another mechanical failure there for the Alfa Romeo driver. that has brought out this safety car, which is only going to be out then for a couple more laps, and then we will be back racing again. But again, I don't think there's much chance of us here actually taking a fight to Bottas, and just out of the final corner he was so much quicker than us there that there's just no chance at all that into turn 1 we're going to be able to do anything there, unfortunately. But still, we're in 4th place. We should be able to maintain this now to the end, and I think this is just going to be a good chance to actually just look after the car a little bit and yeah, just bring it home then for a solid haul of points here then. It's going to be 12 points if we can maintain this, which is looking like we will, as we've just got a few more corners to go now then. Ocon's dropped to 2.5 seconds behind us, so this is going to be a nice 4th place here then, which will be the best result of our career so far. And yeah, bit of a positive upswing, I guess, for us. I don't know what I was going for there, but we crossed line then for 4th place.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Lewis Hamilton is really starting to run away with this championship. It was yet another victory for him, and the fastest lap as well. And just to top her off, Bottas wasn't even second today, he was third after being out qualified by Albon, who's had certainly the best weekend of his F1 career so far there, then qualifying on the front row and managing to convert it to a second place finish there. We were then in 4th place with the best result of our career so far, with strong weekends there then for Ocon and Fiat. They made that alternate strategy work for them then. Perez then in 7th, Sainz in 8th, Magnussen also making that alternate strategy work then in 9th, and Leclerc, a really disappointing home race for him then in 10th position, just the 1 point to show for it then. And Ricciardo then, he had a grid penalty and he managed to actually recover 6 places then to 11th, so a solid drive from him as well there, just shy of the points. And we thought then the 2 retirements, but Giovinazzi and Verstappen. In the driver standings then, Hamilton 44 points clear then, on brand, and yeah, after just 6 races, so he is, as I said, running away with it. Albon now overtakes Verstappen then in that Red Bull inter-team battle. We stay ahead of Leclerc then as well, as that was another unfortunate weekend for him there. Ocon overtakes Stroll, and Fiat overtakes a whole host of cars then in the midfield there to move up to 11th place. Norris, a real weekend to forget for him, qualifying last and was at the back of the field for most of that race there, so yeah, really a dismal weekend for him. Looking further down then, just a few cars yet to score points. Magnussen doubled his tally today then on to 4, and yeah, 2 Williams there and 2 Alphas yet to score points. Mercedes then already over 100 points clear then in the constructors, and we are a very comfortable third then. We didn't close in on Rebel today, no, they extended the gap then with that second place for Albon, but we're a very comfortable third then, ahead of McLaren, Racing Point and Renault, and yeah, as I said, it's Alfa Romeo and Williams who get to score points.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? It's your teammates' home Grand Prix. Do you think they enjoyed themselves out there today? Appreciate your time.
Sainz out-qualified us then, but we managed to get a couple of points over him then in the race there in our rivalries. That's opened the gap back out now then, and we're looking quite good then to win this rivalry with 3 races to go. We've also moved up then to level 8 with our driver acclaims, so all in all it's a very good weekend for us there. I guess our teammate was a little bit unfortunate with the strategy, but we did look to have more race pace than him, so I guess to an extent deserved to beat him there, but probably not by as much as we did in the end there. But nonetheless then, a very strong weekend for us. I actually can't remember what the next race is, but I'm not sure if it's back here or not. That would what it'd be normally, but obviously the shortened calendar, so it might not be. But nonetheless, hope you enjoy this one, and I shall see you next time.